Tonight on NewsWatch Ole Miss, students gathered at the Tennessee State Capitol to protest a bill that would allow teachers to carry guns inside schools.
Plus, TikTok, the popular social media platform, could be facing a nationwide ban after a bill was signed today. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Juliana Jackson.
And I'm Reagan Settle. Oxford residents and others are traveling to Oxford and gearing up for this weekend.
That's right, Reagan. It is finally Double Decker weekend. Double Decker is a two-day celebration of food, music, and art starting this Friday. The music lineup includes Grace Bowers, Connor Smith, Flatland Cavalry, Kenny Brown, and many more.
Saturday morning will start with a 10K and a 5K run and a kids fun run at 9 a.m. There will be food and art vendors all around and shuttles running from Oxford High School and Ole Miss.
And with all these fun outdoor things happening, I'm sure you're wondering about the weather. Well, no fear, it seems that it will be really good weather this weekend.
Yes, Juliana, that same good weather that we have been seeing all day. Let's check in with weather anchor Seth Parento to hear all about our current conditions.
Thank you, Reagan. If we take a look at our current conditions here in Oxford, you'll see it's 79 degrees with a light breeze of around 5 to 10 miles per hour with some sunny skies. And it looks like that good weather will be holding out as we head into this weekend, so make sure to stay tuned for your full forecast. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Seth. Protests led by students erupted at the Tennessee State Capitol.
The issue is a bill the General Assembly passed allowing teachers to carry guns inside schools. Sharon Donqua has more.
Senate Bill 1325, having received a constitutional majority, I declare it passed without objection. The motion to reconsider is tabled.
This is the reaction of rage, hurt, and anger.
This is what started it all. Tennessee representatives passing a bill that will soon allow teachers to carry guns in schools across the state. And chaos erupted.
And it wasn't just a motion of like, oh, we want to be loud. There was mothers in there crying.
So Jermaine Cole Jr. organized a protest. Dozens of people screaming and chanting just inches away from the House floor.
Power to the people!
And they acted out a die-in, laying on the ground in silence to get their point across.
Giving teachers pistols in classrooms. My little brother is 10 years old. I don't want him anywhere close to a gun. I'm a college student myself. I don't want to be near a gun.
But the protest didn't end inside.
What happens when my teacher had a rough morning or rough night before class? What happens when a student gets too rowdy? What happens when a student finds the gun? I've been doing active shooter drills since kindergarten. I'm a junior in high school and I still have them. My first lockdown was in kindergarten. My last one was September 13th, 2023.
High school students took over Legislative Plaza crying out to state leaders.
I shouldn't have to be told to zigzag in the hallway because it's harder to hit a moving target. I shouldn't have to text my parents for the last time saying I'm scared. This is a school shooter. It shouldn't have to be my teacher.
And through those tears, students say they'll continue to fight.
And we will vote you out if you don't listen, because we want to be safe in our schools. And I promise that the generation of Covenant, I promise that the generation of Sandy Hook, of Parkland will remember the terror of growing up, experiencing lockdown drills. I promise you, we will remember that.
With the shakeup in the athletic conferences, it could lead to more missed classes for student athletes.
Reporter Colleen Sewell spoke to both a student athlete and a staff member about how difficult their schedule can be.
The average college student is busy on its own, but student athletes have more to manage. Ole Miss sport and recreation instructor Andre Simmond spoke on his experience teaching student athletes.
Typically, in my courses, I have my syllabus. The big dates are going to be your exams. Those are not going to change. So it gives students the opportunity to prepare for that and understand what the schedule looks like for the semester.
Having been a student athlete himself, Simmond understands the pressure.
If we miss class, we have to come back and make it up, and we have to stay on top of it while also maintaining our success on the field.
Current student athlete Laurel Wynn agrees with Simmond, especially when there are professors that are less willing to accommodate to an athlete's schedule.
It was really, really difficult because you almost want to say I'm trying to compete for your university to make us have, a good name, to put us on the map, and I'm doing the best that I can.
Both Wynn and Simmons spoke on the availability of this facility to make sure that academics remain a priority.
there are tutors over in FedEx for us. I haven't had a tutor in a while, but if I felt the need to have one for, you know, a math class or a biology or something like that, I just go to my advisor and I say, Lena, I need help in this area. Can we get a tutor? And she will say, absolutely.
Though Ole Miss has the resources available for these athletes, we will just have to wait and see how other universities adapt to this change. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Colleen Sewell.
Well, now for a story that could be affecting all of us. President Joe Biden signed a bill Wednesday that could lead to a nationwide TikTok ban.
Congress had passed the bill this week as part of a wide-ranging foreign aid package meant to support Israel and Ukraine. The legislation poses the most serious risk to TikTok since U.S. officials began raising concerns about the app in 2020. Michael Yoshida explains what this means for users here in the U.S.
The clock may soon be running out for TikTok and its more than 170 million users in the U.S.
A lot of TikTok users, as you would expect, aren't very happy about this. TikTok brings in lots of money for them.
President Joe Biden signing a bill Wednesday, giving ByteDance, TikTok's Chinese parent company, 270 days to sell or spin off the social media platform. Otherwise, it will be banned from U.S. app stores.
Congress is acting to prevent foreign adversaries from conducting espionage, surveillance, maligned operations, harming vulnerable Americans, our servicemen and women, and our U.S. government personnel.
Some experts say this bill does not prioritize the right issues.
Really what the U.S. needs to do, if it's worried about data collection, is pass comprehensive privacy legislation that would regulate the kind of data that all social media platforms and tech companies can collect on us and keep on us and share on us. Because even if TikTok goes away, there's nothing stopping the Chinese government from buying data and information about Americans from data brokers and other social media platforms.
TikTok is fighting back, calling the legislation unconstitutional. CEO Shou Chu vowed to take the issue to court.
Rest assured, we aren't going anywhere.
Well, coming up, pro-Palestinian protests could underscore a potential challenge for President Biden's re-election bid this fall. Stay tuned to hear how.
Plus, today marks day 2 of a search as part of the Gilgo Beach investigation. These stories and more after the break. NewsWatch Ole Miss will be right back.
Hey, Mississippi.
Hey, Mississippi.
Don't trash Mississippi.
Because picking up litter costs us time
and money.
MDOT spends $3.2 million a year picking up litter.
That's money that could be used to maintain roads and bridges,
patch potholes,
and focus on improving Mississippi's infrastructure.
Please help us help you.
We can't do it without you.
Don't trash Mississippi.
Don't trash Mississippi.
I'm here at the scene of tomorrow's shooting, where a 15-year-old will kill 4 children, 2 adults, and then turn the gun on himself.
When the shooting starts happening tomorrow, first I'll probably just think it's firecrackers or a car backfiring or something.
He told some of us that his dad kept the gun in his closet, and he always talked about using it on, you know, the people that bullied him. Tomorrow I'll probably say that I wish I told someone.
You know, after the shooting, we're gonna feel pretty bad about picking on him, but until then, we'll probably just keep doing it because he's pretty weird.
Tomorrow I'll probably point out that something has seemed off with him since the beginning of the school year.
And I'm now joined by the officers who will be the first responders tomorrow. What additional details can you share with us?
Well, someone is expected to tell us after the shooting that the shooter has been posting on social media about doing this for weeks.
So how will you explain the shooting to your daughter?
Actually, I won't get to explain it to her because she won't make it.
This is Christine Lynn, reporting from the scene of another shooting we'll say we never saw coming.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. Pro-Palestinian protests continue to rock major American universities, prompting school officials to take steps to confront the growing crisis. The demonstrations underscore a potential challenge for President Biden's re-election bid this fall. Karen Cafu is live at the White House with more details.
After signing a $95 billion bipartisan foreign aid package, including funding for Ukraine, Taiwan, and Israel, President Joe Biden highlighting the legislation's humanitarian help for Gaza and urging Israel to ensure it reaches Palestinians quickly.
We're going to immediately secure that aid and surge it, including food, medical supplies, clean water. And Israel must make sure all this aid reaches the Palestinians in Gaza without delay.
Biden reiterated that his support for Israel is ironclad, a backing at odds with some young progressives taking part in a growing number of pro-Palestinian demonstrations on college campuses, and whose support the president will need in November. While the national spotlight has been on Columbia's New York City campus, similar demonstrations have grown across the country this week. From Brown University in Rhode Island to the University of California at Berkeley. The White House, trying to both condemn anti-Semitism and address the gravity of the situation in Gaza, said they have been monitoring the protests.
We believe in people being able to express themselves in a peaceful manner, but when we're talking about hateful rhetoric, when we're talking about violence, we have to call that out.
Political allies of President Biden downplaying a potential loss of support among young protesters in November.
I hope they will give the president time to show that his leadership in the Middle East ultimately will prove out to be aligned with American values.
Day 2 of the search near exit 70 of the Long Island Expressway. Authorities indicate these efforts are underway to establish connections between Gilgo Beach murder suspect Rex Heuermann and 6 other victims. At least 2 of the additional victims' remains were previously discovered near the area being searched. Heuermann faces charges in connection to the deaths of 4 women whose bodies were found near Gilgo Beach. He has entered a plea of not guilty. A small medical aircraft crashed this morning, which prompted a temporary stop to all ground activities at Raleigh-Durham International Airport. The 2 aboard were briefly trapped before being freed by first responders. Following their rescue, both individuals were transported to the hospital for medical attention, although no further details regarding their condition were disclosed.
An investigation has been launched following the circulation of explicit photographs generated by artificial intelligence of students within a high school in Iowa. Reporter Bo Bowman has more details regarding this case.
Our daughters are being, victimized, and it doesn't seem like there's anything we can do about it.
Chad Borwick's child is one of the Nevada high schoolers whose image was altered to make them appear naked in photographs that were posted to social media.
It's spread like wildfire. It spread through our high school, our middle school, and the kids have probably spread it to other school districts, to other friends, and it's probably going to spread around all those.
Just don't want things to happen to your kids. You want them to have better.
Ida Natty's child is among the victims as well.
They're going to feel like they don't matter. Their voice doesn't matter.
The Story County Sheriff's Office tells KCCI they are investigating, but parents like Borwick and Natty are worried no one will be held accountable. They say investigators told them there was probably little they could do, as Iowa Criminal Code doesn't offer much on AI-generated images.
While the images may be fake, the effects that they have on people are very real.
Senator Chris Knoyer led a bill. It doesn't go into effect until July 1st. Knoyer says the situation in Nevada is exactly what she hopes this bill prevents in the future.
We tried to put some real teeth into this law, and I think that will be a big difference, knowing that there are some pretty dire consequences if you do these types of things to people in the state of Iowa.
The school district says they've turned over the investigation to law enforcement and won't issue any disciplinary actions until the investigation is complete.
In Albany, New York, an investigation is underway after 2 men fell victim to an online robbery scheme. The men were targeted by suspects they connected with on dating apps. Sarah Grinhofer explains ways to stay safe while looking for love.
What started with a simple swipe turned 2 online daters into robbery victims. Local authorities responded to 2 recent incidents involving unconnected suspects. In both cases, a male victim thought he was meeting with a female at a hotel, but when he arrived, he was met with multiple armed people demanding money. The suspects targeting their victims through dating apps.
You have to just remain aware that these incidents can happen anywhere. It doesn't matter how safe of a town, how small or how big, we just have to always remember that these things can happen.
Especially in a world so dependent on virtual connections.
the dating apps, there's the danger piece, a lot of the phishing scams, the money piece, but the kind of cons to it in general is just that it's become really dehumanized. You see a picture of someone and you sort of think you have this connection, but the thing we hear so often from the people that we work with is that they get ghosted a lot. They don't feel like a human.
Alternative dating services like micropolitan matchmakers have been growing in popularity.
We're really working to bring the humanity back to dating. Part of it is the safety piece. We vet all of the matches with our one-to-one matchmaking clients, but even with the folks who don't want to do matchmaking and just want to come to events, they're meeting people in person. They're having real conversations.
If screening potential suitors through a service isn't for you, safety should stay top of mind.
I think you want to find that balance between finding a connection with a person and letting them surprise you and getting to know them more organically, but certainly, having someone, making sure people know where you are, what your date plan is, and meeting in public.
Police say it's important to verify the person you're speaking with is who they say they are by checking their other social media and having video conversations before meeting.
At the end of the day, these two incidents are proof that it doesn't matter gender, it doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are, how smart you think you are. You just have to remain vigilant that these things can happen to almost everybody. We just have to make sure that we take the steps prior to that to make sure we don't ever fall victim.
Now let's check in with weather anchor Seth Parento for a look at tonight's conditions.
Thank you, Reagan. As we head into this evening, we are looking at a low of 54 degrees with some clouds moving in and that breeze staying consistent at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. It looks like we might have some rain heading our way over the next 48 hours, so make sure to stay tuned for your full forecast. I'll be right back after the break.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Is my light bright enough? You're such a glow-off. Well, And lights. Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
The family's visit to the forest inspired a beautiful question. Mother, mother, am I a tree? You tell me to stand tall. The trees stand tall. Mother, mother, you tell me to stay rooted. The trees' roots go deep. You tell me to focus on my breath, and the trees breathe for the earth. I think I am a tree. My child, of course you are. But what kind of tree will you be? Will you be the kind that makes shade, or the kind that shows a new way? Might you be the kind to hug, or the kind to climb? Doesn't matter what you choose, so long as you choose to be a tree that's kind. The child had a few more questions after that, and the forest had plenty of answers.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
Each year, hurricanes and major flooding threaten cities, towns, and rural homes across the Gulf states. So chances are there will be more storms and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss with Storm Watch. I'm Seth Brento. Well, if we take a look at our current conditions, you will see that we are looking at 79 degrees here in Oxford with sunny skies and a light breeze of around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And if we take a look at the rest of northern Mississippi, you'll see temperatures consistent in the upper 70s and low 80s, with us here in the west at 79 and everyone else over in the east at 81 degrees. And as we head into this evening, we are looking at a low of only 54 degrees here in Oxford, with actually some clear skies. It says scattered thunderstorms. Clear skies with a light breeze of staying consistent around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And as we head into tomorrow, we are looking at a high of 73 degrees with some clear skies in the morning. Looks like we might have some scattered showers and potential thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon, but those will be clearing out when that breeze will be staying consistent around 5 to 10 miles per hour once again. And if you take a look across the rest of northern Mississippi for tomorrow, you'll see temperatures consistent only in the low 70s, with Corinth and Tupelo having the regional high of 73 degrees. And for your 5-day forecast, as you can see, temperatures will be steadily rising as we head into the weekend. We are again looking at some rain potentially tomorrow as we head into Thursday. However, it looks like we will have a beautiful weekend for the upcoming Double Decker Festival.
Thank you, Seth. I know I'm super excited that it's going to be finally pretty this weekend with Double Decker coming up.
Yeah, no, Mother Nature has finally decided to give us a win after the cold and rainy Morgan Wallen concert.
I know. Who all went to the concert? Did anyone go?
I didn't go.
I did.
However,
yes.
My apartment has a view of the stadium, so I kind of got a free concert a little bit from that. Yeah. Saw the lights, heard the music, it was great.
You got the feel of it, yeah.
Well, Morgan Wallen was a show, but what kind of a show do we have for the Rebels?
Coming up, the softball team hosted their final midweek matchup versus in-state foe Southern Miss, and the NBA playoffs are heating up. I'll have that and more next in sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Welcome back. I'm Evan Simmons with Sports Watch. It was a successful outing for the Ole Miss softball team as they defeated the Southern Miss Golden Eagles by a score of 7-3 on Tuesday. The Rebels were led by Angela Leone and Lexi Brady, both hitting home runs in the win. The Rebels trailed early in the game 3-1, but went on to score 6 unanswered to win the game. The Rebels will host Auburn on April 26th through 28th for senior weekend. Ole Miss men's golfer Michael Lasasso has been selected to represent the United States in the 2024 Arnold Palmer Cup, announced by the Golf Coaches Association of America on Tuesday. Lasasso is the first Rebel since 2018 that has been selected to play in the Cup. Lasasso leads Ole Miss and the SEC in strokes per 24 rounds and has finished in the top 20 in all regular season events for Ole Miss, with 4 of those being inside the top 3. The Cup is set to take place July 5th through 7th in Lahinich, Ireland. Also, Ole Miss women's golfer Caitlin McNabb has been selected to represent the United States in the 2024 Arnold Palmer Cup. As announced by the Golf Coaches Association of America on Tuesday, McNabb had a career best and team-leading 70.25 stroke average in all 10 tournaments for the Rebels this season. She also brought home her second career title at the Mason Rudolph Championship, along with 8 top 20 finishes. It was a busy and exciting night for the NBA on Tuesday as the first round continued in the NBA playoffs. In the East, the Timberwolves took a 2-game lead on the Suns, defeating them by a score of 105-93, led by Jaden McDaniels scoring a career playoff high 25 points in the win. The defensive side of the ball was the focus for the Timberwolves as the Suns' big three shot only 1 from 9 for 3. Game 3 takes place on Friday at 9:30 p.m. Staying in the East, the Pacers took care of the Bucks by a score of 125-108, led by Pascal Siakam with 37 points. The series is now tied, and Game 3 will take place on Friday at 4:30 p.m. Heading to the West, the Mavericks bounced back against the Clippers after a tough Game 1, winning by a score of 93-96, tying the series. The Mavericks were led by Luka Doncic, scoring 32 points for the Mavs, and Game 3 will take place on Friday at 7 p.m. That's all I've got for sports. Be sure to follow us on X at @Rebel_Watch for the latest sports updates. NewsWatch Ole Miss will be right back after this break.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Welcome back to NewsWatch Ole Miss. The Ole Miss transfer portal has been buzzing as Lane Kiffin prepares his roster for the upcoming season.
NewsWatch reporter Jason Kern spoke to NIL expert on how the Rebels tackle the portal.
In recent years, NIL deals have boosted transfer activity as college athletes weigh their financial options on and off the field.
So much of the transfer portal, yes, it's playing time, but it's also evaluating your worth. Lane Kiffin has talked about it's free agency. You want to get the most for yourself on the market. Who isn't going to turn down more money?
With NIL becoming so strong, the Grove Collective at Ole Miss has certainly stood out among the crowd.
You can't give them all the money right away, right? I think that is probably a big one. Maybe in payment plans or at a certain time during parts of the season. After you've been on campus a certain amount of time, and I know that's probably going to make some people angry, some of the transfers angry, because obviously you want your money right away.
With all the success that the Ole Miss football program has had with NIL and transfer portal, fans are sure to see success when they enter the vault next season. Now let's see what some students have to say about the transfer portal and Ole Miss football.
I'm really excited for the season. I think it's going to be a good one. I'm glad we got all the transfers we got. I think it's going to be a good season.
Katz's take on the NIL is that hard work should pay off.
These players make so much money for schools and their athletic departments. They deserve a piece of the pie, right? That's where I've always been.
NIL has brought collegiate football to a new level. Jason Kern, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Well, before we close out, Seth, tell us again about this beautiful weather we should be expecting for this upcoming weekend and for Double Decker.
Like I said, we are looking at beautiful temperatures in the mid-80s this weekend with some cloudy skies actually for Double Decker. So still put on some sunscreen, but it's not going to be as bad as it could be.
Thank you, Seth, and thanks for all of you for watching. Tune in tomorrow. I'm Juliana Jackson.
And I'm Reagan Settle with your latest news.
I'm Evan Simmons with Sports Watch.
And with Stormwatch, I'm Seth Parento.
Be sure to keep up with us on our socials and tune in tomorrow at 5. NewsWatch Ole Miss, where we keep it live and keep it local.
How about